Hey y'all, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora, and on today's video we are working more on my modern Japanese city. So I have been documenting the whole entire build process on my channel from like literally start to finish. So if you're new here, feel free to go check out those other videos in case you just kind of want to see how the build process has been going for this new modern city. So if you're new here, I've actually done this theme a few times on my channel, each with their own approach to it. I'm a huge sucker for cherry blossom cities, but this island is kind of like a fresh take on basically every single island I've already created around this season and just this style in general. I really wanted to do a mixture of super modern like buildings combined with the traditional Japanese exterior look, and so far I've been really enjoying this. I just feel like it made the island already look a lot more realistic. The tokonoma is like the main source for these modern buildings that I have been creating on the island. I swear this is now my new favorite city core item. I highly recommend it, especially if you're going for a more clean and modern look to a city island. Anyways, today we're going to be working over here by my modern 7-Eleven build. Now I've actually done this build a few times on my channel, but we created this on my last live stream. So this whole entire area on my island is basically the downtown shopping district. I'm going to have a lot of different shops over here, and I'm going to probably expand it just a little bit on the left side, but we got so much done on today's video and I am so excited about it. So today's video's main focus is basically finishing up this location on my map, which is literally like at the edge. It is such a weird location. There's honestly not that much room to work with, but we are gonna make the best of it. And I thought doing some sort of like a cluttered market-like build right next to the 7-Eleven would kind of like introduce the more traditional Japanese builds. I really want a nice balance between modern and traditional, just like in real life at Tokyo. There's like a mixture of a lot of different building styles in one city. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to capture throughout this whole entire island, and I just thought this really filled in such a small location on my map. It just added a lot of content, and my biggest goal for this island is to have so much content. Yes, there will probably be so much item loading and lag, but it's really worth it to me to have a nice detailed city island. I just really want each visitor to be transported into this romantic, elegant, modern city when you come and visit the dream address, and I want plenty of different locations to be explored, including interiors. So for this particular location, I was actually inspired by 3 different people. Now, a lot of people have used the gazebo items in their Japanese islands regardless. I mean, this is one of the most popular items to use in Japanese islands. My biggest source of inspo for today's build was definitely from my friend Kenoto on their YouTube channel, but there was a few other people who I also got inspired by as well, and I'll have them linked in the video's description. Like I said, a lot of people have done this already, but their posts were the first ones that I saw, and I really wanted to start making sure to use this item, especially because it really complements the traditional look that I want in some locations. So I just really like this because it's not using a bunch of terraform, and maybe you don't have room to do a bunch of terraforming, but you still want some sort of a city core like structure. It's really easy to do. You're just using the gazebo and storefront, and then we're blending out with simple panels. Of course, this is always going to be my own version of the original idea, but I had a lot of fun making this, and I felt like it was such a great option because you're also making use of a villager home. So you get a villager place, but you also get them a really nice decorated area. And of course, just like I mentioned in previous live streams and videos, I'm going to be decorating all interiors on this island, so we will have a really fun interior planned for this villager. Obviously, we still need to get Happy Home Paradise done first though, which we'll be doing on some live streams. So if you want to tune into those live streams and help me decorate and just like plan out interiors, I really hope to see you. So now that I got the left side done, we're gonna go ahead and start filling in with more of our tile code over here. Again, every single code that I'm using will always be found in the video's description. But I ended up placing a villager home over here, and we're doing another gazebo right behind it. Unfortunately, the gazebo does not go further up against the villager home, but if that bothers you, you can always like pull the gazebo back some and put some storefronts behind it. But I'm not gonna like stress too much about this because this whole location is gonna serve mostly as like a lookout and kind of perspective in a way from a different part of the build. It's honestly going to be a spot where you can access it, but it's not meant to be viewed from in the middle of the street, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Later on, where the party lights are at the edge of that road, we're actually going to be framing out with safety railing, and that's going to be where that little end of the street perspective is going to be. And we're probably going to put a torii gate over there too, just to kind of add a little bit more dimension. So that is kind of like my plans for this whole spot. Then we're going to be doing a angled crosswalk transition that leads up to an incline with some terraform. So like I said earlier, I want this island to be very packed with lots of content, but that terraform and incline location will have another build, which I've changed the codes on later. You'll see me swap out the windows and everything because I changed my mind on the design, but then we're going to be placing another villager home as well. So this is kind of just like a neighborhood market sort of area. This build took me about 2 days to make, so it's also why I'm a little behind on content posting over the weekend. So I just wanted to let y'all know that there is going to be some transitions, but having this wait was worth it to me. But I wanted to make sure that everything transitioned nicely, and I figured that posting this, even if I'm a couple of days late, would be still nice and ideal for those following me along the same building journey. Maybe you're recreating everything for your own island, and I wanted to make sure that the terraform transitioned really nicely, being that it is at the edge of the map. I feel like a lot of people get intimidated by terraforming so close to the edge of the map on a city island. Most people are just tempted to do a one level build like we're doing right now and continue that until they get more towards the inside of their map to do the terraforming. But I wanted to show an option if you're like me, wanting to add a lot of dimension and levels to your city, on how you can add the terraform and make it transition really nicely at the edge of the map. Anyways, over here I'm just filling up with a pagoda and a tree, and then we're gonna call it good. I am planning to decorate my beaches on this island, but I have no idea what my plan is for this location, being that this is serving as a perspective. I may just block it off and maybe place some greenery items and call it good. I have no idea what is planned, but obviously we are going to continue decorating in front of this villager home and just blending everything out. Now I am considering on swapping the black storefront because at a certain angle you can kind of see the green part of it if you're looking hard enough. For now I'm just going to leave it and place some simple panels in front of it, but now we're working in the very back again, and I'm just going to fill this in with some simple fencing and greenery and call it good. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we are going to be lining with a torii gate at the edge of this road and safety railing, so you'll see that later on. I did make the swap of the torii gate out of the footage just because I thought it looked better, but just keep in mind that it'll be the torii gate instead of the party light arch at the edge. And then of course now we finished off the edge of that location, so this is how it's now starting to look. Just adding that fence in there really added a nice little hidden touch to the build. So now that I finished the decor in that market street, I'm going to go ahead and start doing our transition here in front of this villager home. Now that panel in front of the storefront by the villager home is actually going to be changing. I preferred a lighter colored window, so you'll see that in the final footage. I swapped that off camera, but I do have that code listed in the video's description even though I did change it. Anyways, now that I got the main location kind of paved out, we're going to start doing our angled crosswalk transition over here. I'm actually thinking about rotating this the other way off camera just because I didn't want it to be too similar to the 7-Eleven's angle crosswalk, so I probably will be relocating it, but it'll be a very similar process how we're placing it. Now these road pieces can be a little bit difficult to use on Zara's road design, so if y'all need an in-depth tutorial on how to use the roads that I'm using on this island, just let me know in the comments section. If it gets enough feedback, I'll definitely do a video on it this week. There were a few pieces near the end, as you can see, that aren't lining up. It's because the dimensions over here are really wonky. I think Zara does have pieces to make these line up if you're going for a smaller crosswalk like we're doing over here, but I don't have space for them. So to hide these imperfections, I'm literally going to be placing cherry blossom piles and trash bags and calling it good, which is a great solution if you're trying to make your design code space go as far as possible. So now that we have all the road pieces placed, we're going to go ahead and get our incline here, and I'm going to go ahead and pay it off as well. This is actually going to be leading up to another build. I'm actually going to be copying the structure to our rural looking store that's to the left of this, and you'll see that at the end of this video. So I will be skipping the build process of it just because we have documented it on my last video of this island, and I'll have that linked in the video's description in case y'all want to go watch it. I'm gonna be real with y'all, I struggled so much with the right side of this, so I went ahead and transitioned to the final product of that build. I went for a simple bike parking lot area because I didn't want too much item loading to happen over here. So now I am finally prepping out the terraform for this villager home, and then we're going to be extending the terraform towards the left side as well. So this is going to be where that next villager home is going to be placed, and I'm going to leave a small little area kind of next to the incline that you can kind of overlook the whole market area. Alrighty, so now that our incline is placed, I went ahead and time traveled and got my villager home as well placed. I will not have all the transitions done for this location on today's video, but definitely by next video we will. And I don't really know what my plan is for over here. I was was thinking maybe we could do a parking lot or something in front of the villager home and let this like transition into a walkway behind Plaza, because as you can see on my map, we're really close to the Plaza location. I went ahead and transitioned to the villager home location. As you can see, we have a lot of decorating that has been done. I actually struggled also with this location, and I didn't want y'all to have to suffer with me changing my mind every 3 seconds. So this is how the decor for this spot is starting to look out. I kept that little area that has the safety railing kind of like overlooking the crosswalk empty, because that is meant to be a viewpoint. And of course, just like I mentioned earlier in the video, the left side build I have recorded on a previous speed build, so feel free to go check that video out. It'll be linked in the video's description. But I ended up swapping out the codes for that because one of my friends came over and they were like, Nora, this looks like a jail. And I was like, okay, now I have to change every code over here because I can't unsee it. So I swapped all the codes out, and you'll see that on the final walkthrough. But I'm very happy with how this whole spot is starting to look. As usual, before the video ends, we're gonna do a walkthrough of how everything is starting to look. I'm very excited about this downtown location. I really feel like it is capturing that modern but traditional look that Tokyo has. And of course, while we do this walkthrough, I do want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me as a creator. Seriously, y'all's support just means the world to me. So thank you to all of my amazing channel members: Sherry Blossom, Kavi, Z Toxic, Wisteria Crossing, Connor Adventure, The Bellarific, It's Your Girl Crystal, Amanda, Mickey Koo, Cherry Crossing, Baby Blue X016, Irish Lady 51, Opal of Wisteria, Kirby, The Artsy Gamer, Catherine Funk, Dammy, Trisha Dunn, Emily, Ellie Dogmeat, Cosmom, Madison Rachel, and Adriana Dawson. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a horrible day. I'll see you next video.